This is Walk Talk Football, the show where we talk about everything that's on your mind. Today we have a lot to talk about. We're talking Premier League, we're talking Bundesliga, we're talking Serie A, and of course, Major League Soccer. So let's walk. So guys, maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know, I was on vacation for the last couple of weeks, so I missed the whole meltdown of the US not qualifying for the World Cup, so I haven't had a chance to tell you guys how I feel. So I'll share that with you, I'll answer a few of those questions, and then we'll move on from it and then continue talking about it in other places. I'm devastated. I'm hurt, I'm embarrassed. I'm everything that's negative about any negative emotion you can come up with. I've felt over the last, I guess, week or almost a week. I feel like that we've been let down. I feel like we've also let ourselves down. But I think it's a rare opportunity for us to try to fix some of the things that have been going on wrong. Like some of the issues that we have within soccer in the US right now aren't new. They're not brand new. They exist, they're real, and they've existed for a while. And we need to be able to talk about them openly and make changes. And I think this is a rare opportunity to do that. So let's answer a few of your questions and then we'll move on from it. Will Heath and COPA90 fight for reforms that put the US men's national team and our children first? 100%. It's important to me that we eventually move towards no longer having a pay-to-play system. I think that's a major issue. I think it's a tough thing to solve, especially immediately. It's not something you just pump money in and everybody plays for free. It's something that we have to work with. You have to work within sponsorships. You have to work within communities. You have to find a sustainable way. And you know how you create sustainability in Florida is going to be different than California and other places like that. So creating that model is going to take time, but I think it's something that we need to continue to discuss and work towards if you want the best talent playing and then create the opportunities for kids to have positive influences through sports as well as development and hopefully make better professionals. Seeing the way the US ended, was it the right call to fire Jurgen Klinsmann after the 4-0 loss to Costa Rica? By the way, follow me back, COPA90 US. I'll see if the COPA90 social team will follow you back, but I can't guarantee that. Do I think it was the right call? Yes, I do think it was the right call. I think there was a lot of issues. Speaking as somebody who spoke regularly to some of those players, there was a lot of issues between Klinsmann and the players. And I can't speak on those, at least on here. Some of that, as usual, the horn goes off right on time. Look, there's some things I can't share because they were told to me in private, but I think it was the right change to move. Now, looking back, you could have said, okay, Jurgen would have turned it around, and maybe he would have. I played some games for Jurgen Klinsmann. I always liked the way he motivated players, but I wasn't with him long enough to really make a judgment on how I felt for him as the coach of the national team. Now, you look at Bruce Arena, you would have thought, hey, based on his experiences, of course he's going to qualify the team. They go and they get a point in Panama, they get a point at Azteca. Everything is going fine, and then it all comes crashing down. So, you know, I know NFL football is a game of inches, but, you know, everything in sports, it's just, at any moment can go either way, and I think the US didn't do enough and have enough players having good days to have it go their way. So look, and this isn't about Jurgen, this isn't about Bruce. Yes, I think Bruce could have made other decisions. I think Jurgen could have made other decisions, but this comes down to those players. I've fought on that field before. I know how hard it is. I know how tough those circumstances can be. At no point should the US have been in that position in the first place, and since they were, they should have never kind of caved in the way that they did, getting knocked out of the World Cup, or at least qualifying for the World Cup. Since the US men's national team is out of the World Cup, who will I be rooting for? I'm not sure who I'm going to root for, but I'm excited about the tournament because it's a little bit like fantasy sports, you know. In fantasy sports, you like one team, and then all of a sudden you've drafted players from other teams, and now you like a lot of other teams and storylines. That's kind of like what I'm feeling right now for the World Cup. Is I get a real opportunity to follow players that I like, who play for clubs that I enjoy watching, follow storylines, things like that. Instead of being so intensely for the US, therefore against any other team that they play or other parts of the tournament, I now get to have a wider range and enjoy it all. So I'm excited about it. But probably support Ireland because they're always fun. They party a lot. They're happy. They're celebratory. So if they make it to the World Cup, I'll be so excited. Otherwise, I'll just enjoy it and see what kind of storylines emerge and then follow those. WTF is happening to Liverpool? The same thing that happens to Liverpool kind of all the time, I guess. You know, early on this year, I actually thought Liverpool might have done enough to challenge for a title this year, aside from not signing defenders, which has kind of been their issue still, but they're just not getting it done, and it's kind of disappointing because I love to see Liverpool when they're playing well, because when they've won this year and they're playing well, they're really fun to watch, and they are fast. Why did Manchester United sit back against Liverpool? For that exact reason. Liverpool is very fast. United, Mourinho, very pragmatic, capable of just sitting back, enjoying himself, blocking, you know, park the bus mentality and get a point. Yeah, Liverpool enjoyed the better football on the day, but Manchester United, who are going to challenge for a title, did well to get 1 point against Liverpool. So I think it's a strategic play for them, and they did well with it. Even though I think they would have been happy with 3 points, they would also take 1 against Liverpool, because even though Liverpool haven't been great, they are still very capable of taking all 3 points from you. So another very good performance from Manchester City. Do you think they can continue throughout the season, or will they slip like last campaign? I can't say whether they'll slip or not. I mean, they have all of the quality to win the title this year. You look at them in Manchester United, and they're in a class of their own. And whether that's sustainable or not, when you look at them playing across multiple tournaments, how you balance your squad, all those things. We talk about focuses on Champions League, all that stuff. It's tough to say, but as of right now, if you look at the goals that they're scoring and the amount of possession they have and the style of which they're playing, they seem unbeatable. So guys, great news for everyone who loves soccer. Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, MLS Decision Day, presented by AT&T, is going down. Now you might be saying, Heath, we already know that, or you might be saying, Heath, what does that mean? Well, let me tell you what it means. Guys, final week of the regular season in Major League Soccer. That means there is so much to play for. There's teams fighting for bye spots, meaning they don't have to play the first week of the playoffs. There's teams fighting for playoffs on the final week of the season. There's guys fighting for MVPs, Golden Boots, all of these types of things, and we have a lot of submissions from you guys, and we got to talk about them. First one. Do you think FC Dallas has a chance in the playoffs? That's if they make it. If FC Dallas makes the playoffs, I think they've fallen short recently. I don't think they're in great form right now, so I don't even think they'll make the playoffs. If you really look at the way things are coming together, you have San Jose's playing against Minnesota. San Jose is currently in a playoff spot. You have RSL playing against KC. KC's fighting for a second spot, so I think RSL is probably going to fall out. And FC Dallas play against Los Angeles Galaxy, who are coming off of a win. The Galaxy are, and Dallas are kind of in poor form. So I don't even think Dallas are going to make it. I think San Jose is going to sit in that final spot. How well they do in the playoffs, I'm not really sure at this point, but that's my take on that. Yo, Heath, do you think Nikolic and Kljestan will finish on top of the goals and assist list? Nikolic for sure. He's coming off of a hat trick. He's now 3 goals in front. Unless somebody has a really crazy weekend, I don't see Villa catching him. But then on the flip side, Kljestan's only 1 goal, I think, in front of Valeri, or assist in front of Valeri. But I hope Kljestan does it. He's had a great season. He's been great for the last 2 years, and I think that's a little bit underappreciated. Obviously, it took him a while to get going when they moved Dax to Chicago, because Dax did a lot of the work to give Sasha that room to kind of play creatively and play free. But hopefully he does. We're both California guys. We both played in the national team for a long time together, so love that guy, and hopefully he wins that award as well. Next up, who grabs the top spot in the West? Who gets the second place in the East? NYCFC play Columbus. Chicago play Houston. I don't know. Chicago's been really good. Nikolic obviously coming off a hat trick. They're in really good form. Going into the playoffs, kind of rounding in the form. They hit a little tough, rough stretch, a little over the halfway point in the season, and they've bounced back now to show that the quality that they have is real. NYCFC obviously solid all year long, but need to find that form going into this last week. This is all about decision day. This is where teams really make or break their seasons, where they find their form going into the playoffs. It's where they make the playoffs, all that kind of stuff. So, and the top spot in the West, it's tough to say. Vancouver play against Portland for I think if Portland wins, they get the Cascadia, but if they lose, then Seattle wins the Cascadia Cup, but it's also fighting for that first and second spot in the West, which obviously gives implications, a bye week, all that type of stuff. So a lot to play for there. Has NYCFC hit a wall right before the playoffs? I don't know if they've hit a wall. If you look at statistics, it's all about hitting your form right going into the playoffs. So you're gonna have a lot to prove. You don't want to go into the playoffs not winning on decision day. Even if you're not playing for a playoff spot, you want to win that game. You want to have that form. You want to have that confidence going into the matches. So final showdown for MVP. What will Villa and Valeri do on the final day to sway voting? I'm not sure what they're going to do. Hopefully they'll both put on MVP quality performances like they've done all year long. Both those teams have something to play for, like I said, with NYCFC wanting to really find that form going into the playoffs. And then Valeri on the other side, they have a chance to finish winning Cascadia, I believe. So don't quote me on that. But also they have a chance to finish top of the West. It could be an incredible opportunity for them. And if you're going to be the MVP, you should probably lead that way and put up some numbers or some sort of stats, or lead your team in some sort of way that's visually appealing to us, because we're going to be watching. And that'll be exciting. But guys, like I said before, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, MLS Decision Day presented by AT&T. It's going to be great. Make sure you check it out. Let's move on to some other stuff that happened over the weekend. Did you catch the Milan Derby yesterday? Icardi went off. Yes, I did catch that. And that just shows you the quality of Argentina, that a guy like Icardi scoring 3 goals in a Milan Derby, which seems impossible, by the way, which AC Milan should have won based on the money that they'd spent this year and all the problems that Inter Milan have had over the last years. But that's a conversation for another time. But it shows you the quality that Argentina have, that a guy like Icardi is sitting on the bench for Argentina, yet he's scoring a hat trick in the Milan Derby. Serie A is ridiculous right now. Can Napoli hold on? What's going on with Juventus? Napoli could hold on. I don't think they will, only because I think Juventus are too strong, they're too deep, and when you're managing multiple tournaments, like I said about other leagues, I think Napoli will eventually fall off. They'll cough up some points over the next however many weeks, however many months, and Juventus will slip back in, which will make me sad, because I do want Napoli to win a title. They play really attractive football. They're so fun to watch, so exciting, and so tough to beat. But again, it's Juventus. They are the kings of Serie A. So, you know, only time will tell. 2 unbeaten streaks at home this weekend were broken with Dortmund and Juventus losing. Will this affect their seasons in the long run? I think it'll affect their seasons in a good way. I think Juventus losing at home, I think it was 50 or 60, however many games, crazy amount of games, will kind of open their eyes and make them realize that gap is getting bigger from Napoli. I think they're in 4th place right now, and they have so much that they need to do if they want to stay in the title race. And then Dortmund have been able to kind of, hopefully this will be a learning lesson for them because they're still in 1st place. They haven't paid the price for it. But look at Bayern, they smashed Freiburg with Henkes. And now things are changing. Bayern's going to probably find that rhythm again, bounce back with a new managerial change, and quickly become favorites again. So you look at them, and then you look at RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga. It's actually fun to watch. You can't really complain. But I do think it'll be a wake-up call for Dortmund, and they've been able to pay this price without really having to leave the title race. They're still in 1st place, so we'll see how that plays out as well. After some solid performances over the past few seasons, is Jan Oblak the most underrated keeper in the game? If not, then who? First of all, Jan Oblak is in the short list for the Ballon d'Or. You cannot be considered an underrated player and be on the short list for the Ballon d'Or. That means you are regarded in your position as 1 or 2 of the best in the world. That is about as rated as you can get, aside from having perfect stats on like a FIFA card or something like that. So who I think is underrated though is De Gea. Maybe it's just me who underrates him. I was never a big fan of Spanish goalkeepers in the past with Valdez and Casillas, but I think De Gea, I kind of hated on him for a long time. I was a De Gea. Okay, you guys like that? You guys like that? No, I was a hater for him for a long time because I just wasn't a huge fan of the style that he played. And maybe it was just because he was playing at Man United, and Man United were in a funk for quite a while. But either way, I think he's the most underrated, at least in my opinion. I've underrated him. Maybe you guys have always rated him highly, and then I should be asking you guys who is the most underrated, because you guys would probably know more about it than me. And then what else we got? Oh, will we see a change from Real Madrid now that CR7 has finally scored his first La Liga goal of the season? I hope so. And look, I don't think Ronaldo needs to score to get confidence. He is the most confident player in the world at all times. But I do think, like anybody, whether in life or in football or whatever, your confidence changes when something good happens. And the more good stuff that happens for them, the more good is going to happen for the team. You can call Real Madrid the best team in the world, but when Ronaldo is not on or firing on all cylinders, they are not the best team. They need him to be the best team in the world. So I think with his first goal, everything's going to change. I think everything's going to get better. Everything's going to improve. And then I think you'll see them quickly move back into a title race. And hopefully Ronaldo will start scoring goals pretty regularly. So guys, that's all we've got. But like I said before, Sunday, 4 p.m., MLS Decision Day presented by AT&T. Guys, it is the final week of the season. That is the most important week. Teams are going in, teams are going out, MLS MVPs, all this stuff is happening. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.